Good morning, dear students and my friends. Today we are going to discuss about what is change in quantity demanded and change in demand. It's topic of demand. When we are going to discuss about change in quantity demanded and change in demand, so let's go for change in quantity demand. What is change in quantity demanded? So that is change in quantity demanded, assuming all other factors remain constants. Assume, assuming all other factors remain constant. That is a ceteris paribus, we can say. In this condition, increase or decrease in quantity purchased. Increase and decrease in quantity purchased as a result of decrease or increase in the price of a commodity is called change in quantity demanded. There is one factor is going change, that is price of a commodity. Price of a commodity and all other factors remain constants. So if any goods price goes up, then their purchased quantity will be increased. And if price of a commodity goes down, their quantity demanded will be decreased. That's we can say extension of demand and contraction of demand. So let's we go for a diagram. There is one thing to be added. It's movement along the same demand curve. It is also referred to as a movement along the same demand curve. Same demand curve. There are no other demand curve is shifting. There is only movement on same demand curve. We can say there is point is changing, point is movementing to another point. That is we can say change in quantity demanded. We can say there is a extension of demand and contraction of demand. What is extension of demand and what is contraction of demand? So if our price of a commodity, first price is OP, and it's decrease, it decrease OP to OP1, then what happen? Demand curve is same, but their point is going to another point. There is a point at the price of OP. If price decrease, then OP to OP1, then quantity demanded, quantity purchased will be increased. That will be OQ to OQ1. End point comes from A to B point. That is extension of demand. If price goes down, if price goes down, then your quantity, purchased quantity, demanded quantity will be increased. That is extension of demand. When we talk about contraction of demand, that adverse position of extension of demand. In extension of demand, price is going to less, down, decrease. But a contraction of demand, there is price goes up, increases, OP to OP1, OP to OP1, and what happen in the demand? quantity demanded decreased. Quantity demanded decreased. Its movement from A to B, and it's decreased when price of a commodity goes down. Sorry, up. Goes up. So we can say that is contraction of demand. And one thing to be attention here, there is a same demand curve, no other demand curve in change in quantity demanded. We can say as a movement along the same demand curve. So that is a change in quantity demanded. Change in demand. We can say in change in quantity demand, there is a extension of demand and contraction of demand along movement along the same curve. But when we talk about change in demand, there is shifting in the demand curve. So let's go for first its definition. What is change in demand? When there is a change in quantity demanded, when there is change in quantity demanded of a commodity due to factors other than its own price, due to factors other than its own price, is called change in demand. It's also known as a shift in the demand curve. So there is one thing uh, to be considered, that is its own price is constant, but other factors is going to change in demand. So there is their quantity demanded is going to change, and it's also known as a shift in the demand curve. Shifting of demand curve. Quantity demanded movement along the same demand curve, not shifting. But when we talk about change in demand, it's called as a shifting in the demand curve, shift in the demand curve. So let's go for a diagram for more knowledge. There is two diagram. One diagram is increase in demand and second is decrease in demand. So uh, changes go in two direction. One is increasing and second is decreasing. So first of all, we are going to increase in demand. Let's see, there is price is same, OP, no changes in price, but their demand curve DD to shift D1 D1. There is shifting DD to D1 D1, and we can say right shifting. That is right shifting due to change in other factors other than its own price. No change in its own price, there is changing in other factors like prices of related goods, consumer income, consumer taste and preference, a future expectation of a price, and numbers of population, income of we can say distribution of income, and there is many changes is going on. So we can say there is a change in demand as a increase in demand. Increase in demand. I am again repeating, that's OP price is constant, but other factors is going to change. So their demand curve is going to right side, and it goes to D1. So we can say its quantity demanded OQ to OQ1. That is increase in demand. So I hope you understood what is increase in demand and decrease in demand. That we can say inverse position of increase in demand. So let's go for this. First is there is a DD curve, price is OP, and we can say there is a OQ demand. When change in other factors, no change in its own price, DD demand curve is moving, not say moving, it's shifting left side A to B point, that is D1, DD2, D1. So there is quantity demanded decrease OQ to OQ1. So that is we can say decrease in demand. So at last, I want to say as a conclusion of topic change in quantity demanded and change in demand. There is a difference between two things, that is change in demand and change in quantity demanded. When we talk about change in quantity demanded, there uh, are changing only its own price, not other factors. There, its own price is changing. Other factors remain constant. And when we talk about change in demand, there other factors is going to change. Changes in other factor. Change in other factors, no change in its own price. So it's called change in demand. And we can say change in quantity demanded, two types. There is extension of demand and contraction of demand. When price goes down, quantity purchased will be increased, that is extension of demand. And when price of a commodity goes up, then quantity purchased will be decreased, that is contraction of demand. And other side, we talk about change in demand, there is two types. First is increase in demand and second is decrease in demand. When we talk about increase in demand, there is price is same, no change in price, no changes in price, but there other factors is going to change. So demand curve is shifting in right direction, and uh, it goes to D to D1, that is increase in demand. And other side, when price of a commodity goes up, then their demand curve is shifting, we can say downward in left side, DD to D1, and we can say quantity demand is going to less before that. It called as a decrease in demand. So one thing to be attention, there is a change in quantity demanded, a movement along the same demand curve, and change in demand, shifting in the demand curve. Demand curve is changing in change in demand, so that we can say change in the demand curve. So I think you understand that topic, and what is change in demand and what is change in quantity demand. Thank you to all of you. If you liked my video, my teaching, so like, share, and subscribe my channel. It's my humble request. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.